Hello my friends and welcome back. It's 90 degrees outside. This is what you get. Deal with it. I watch a ton of YouTube. Some of my favorite topics are art YouTube and true crime YouTube. Most of the time those two things are separate. One of my favorite YouTubers is Kasey Golden. Kasey falls under the art YouTube category. She specializes in watercolors, painting illustrations on her channel, usually a couple pieces of art, maybe a single piece of art in each one of her videos. She'll also dabble in other mediums such as Posca pens, colored pencils, crayons, and many other mediums. She's also recently adopted 2 kittens named Ham and Cheese. So for Miss Kasey Golden, I decided to make amigurumi caricatures of Ham and Cheese. I have crocheted many a cat before. This is one of the few instances that I have tried to replicate an existing cat. Or existing pair of cats. So without further ado, let's go do the thing. Alright, I just ate a handful of pea pods before doing this voiceover, so let's see how smacky this sounds. I came up with a couple of little pieces of concept art for what I want this amigurumi ham and cheese to look like. Borrowed a little bit of inspiration from Kasey's style, but gave it my own little spin. And this coffee ring is just gonna be here and we're gonna have to deal with it. I'll be using this 2-weight yarn. It's thinner than what I usually work with. I usually work with a 4-weight, so it's about twice as thick as a 2-weight. My thought behind this is that I can use 2 strands together and get some kind of gradients going. Since Cheese is a calico cat, she has some orange tabby colors as well as some gray tabby colors. Both kittens also have white bellies, so we'll need some white. I wanted to use a different white, this 4-ply, for their striped shirts. So it's a different texture, slightly different color than the fur white. Cheese usually wears a red striped shirt, and Ham wears a blue striped shirt. We'll need some black for details, as well as felt. I'll be using my F or 3.75mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, my hot glue gun, which is still glued into the container, and some stuffing. Now let me just scooch this out of the way. I'm going to be starting with Cheese, orange and silver tabby colors. I'm taking a little bit of artistic liberty just because Cheese's pattern is very complicated. She's kind of a tabby, kind of a tortoiseshell color, has a little bit of a tortoiseshell coloring to her. So I've just simplified it so I can translate it into crochet. Now you'll see I have 2 different size skeins of this Hirschner's Afghan yarn. It appears that Hirschner's has done away with the smaller skeins and has opted to do larger skeins. I happen to have a couple of small ones in my stash, so I'll use those up for the darker colors. Now, even though my drawing has some of the stripes going vertically on these kittens, I'm gonna just opt to go horizontally. I'll be working in a crochet spiral down, and this just makes it a little easier and looks a lot cleaner, a lot nicer when it comes to tabby stripes. Let me just zoom in a little bit here so we can see what we're doing. And now we'll just proceed to switch back and forth between about 1 million color changes in order to replicate Cheese and her little cheese face. With her head complete, we can switch over to her t-shirt. You can see I've switched over to a smaller hook. Just ignore that, I'm going to end up switching back over to my F hook anyway. And she's looking a little too long, and she's not as wide as I would like her to be. So let me just readjust this off camera. There we go. So we can proceed. Once I have her t-shirt done, I'll switch back to her fur colors, and we'll switch back and forth to finish up her little cheese belly and her little cheese butt, filling her with stuffing as I go. Now that we have a little cheese bowling pin, we need to make some little cheese ears. I'm going to use one strand each of the lighter gray and the lighter tan color, after I've been interrupted, to make the ear so then it replicates more of that tortoiseshell coloring on her. With both ears done, I can attach them to the head and move on to some cheese haunches. I feel like in Wisconsin, cheese haunches is already a thing. I'll make 2 little cheese haunches. And attach them to her cheese bod. Uh-oh. She's reached a very phallic phase in crochet work. Let's fix that by adding some little feet to these haunches. Now we can move on to some front feet. With both cheese feet done, I can add them to the body. Now all she needs is a tail. We'll attach the tail to the body, and I'll work on her face once her brother's complete. We interrupt these Amigurumi cats to bring you a call to action. If you aren't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, click on the like button, leave a comment below with one of your favorite YouTubers. Maybe I'll do a caricature of them or their pets. We'll see, no guarantees. The video schedule is going to be slowing down to whenever I have content to share. If you'd like to be notified when those videos are up and available, click on the bell button to see if that actually works, and you might receive a notification on when my next video is up. In the meantime, I can also be found on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. I have patterns available through my Ravelry and Etsy shops, and ready-made items items through that Etsy shop as well as on my website. Links to all this nonsense are in the description box below. Think I touched base on all the things? Good enough. And now back to your regularly scheduled programming. With cheese complete, we can move on to ham. We'll use those same gray colors from cheese and swap out the red for the blue for his stripes on his shirt. He doesn't need as many, but we still have a lot of color changes to do. And just like cheese, once his head is done, we'll move on to his shirt. Move on to his belly and his butt. And we have a second kitty bowling pin. I left the front loops open on the bottom and top of the shirt so I can add kind of a little ridge to make it look like it's a separate piece, a piece of clothing sitting on top of the kitties. After I have this detail done, we'll make Ham some ears. Make some little ham haunches, some ham hocks. And I forgot to transition over to where I made 2 of them, but here we are. We'll add those to the body and whip up some ham feet. Take a quick lunch break. And then proceed with his little ham arms. I did the same thing as the top and bottom of the shirt to the bottom cuff of the sleeve, so then it looks like it's a little sleeve on top of a kitten leg. Once I get his little ham arms attached, all he has left is a tail. And now that her brother's base is done, we can add some final details with felt and that black yarn and move on to some aesthetic outdoor pictures of these 2 fun little kittens. It's Ham and Cheese! They turned out so freaking cute. Look at Cheese and her little tongue sticking out, just her little blip blip. Love her. Ham turned out great. It's got its little mischievous fish-lipped look. Fish-lipped expression. One of my kids pointed out, I don't think cats have lips. They have lips, I just don't think they can purse them like this. I don't think they could purse them like this. These 2 are going to be shipped off to Kasey soon so that they may be enjoyed by their namesakes. For funsies, I also decided to whip up a couple catnip ants modeled after Kasey's ants that she does in her ant paintings, which are a very Where's Waldo-esque kind of style of illustration. So we have 2 little ants with catnip in their butts for the kitty babies. Hopefully Kasey and Ham and Cheese and Dave will all enjoy them. And with that, I thank you all very much for watching. I appreciate the crap out of you. Okay, love you, bye. Whoa, buddy, that is far too close. Boop, boop, good enough. It is 90 degrees. Ooh, a heat advisory until 7 p.m. I'm gonna hide in the house for the day. I heard a kid. Hang on. I think we're good. Kids gotta be kids, doing kid things. I think we're good. The electric is going out.
No, this one. Cool. Yay.
Oh, see, you got grass on you from when I took pictures.